Hello, this is Gloomy Sunday, and once again, I will be sharing spooky stories that will send shivers down your thorny spine. Without further ado, let's begin tonight's creepy, spooky, and sometimes outlandish array of tales. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Since it is Clark, the content creator of Totally Doll's birthday today, the stories we will be reading will involve a birthday of sorts. Let's start with this story. I've always experienced scary, paranormal activities since I was a kid. All those experiences led up to me finding out I was destined to be a shaman at the age of 15. The first experience I can recall happened when I was about 7 years old. My uncle Felix, Dad's brother, was living with us during that time. He was not married and had no kids. He would always give us starburst candy, played with us, or scared us by growling through the AC vents. We loved that uncle so much. One day, he passed away in his sleep. He had no health complications. A shaman looked into it and told my parents a female spirit liked my uncle. She came in his dream and convinced him to go with her. A few months after, he passed. Weird things kept happening in the house. Dishes would clink and clank as if someone was touching it. We would randomly find starburst candy around the house, especially at the top of the stairs or at our bedroom doors. Sometimes when we were playing in the basement, we would hear the growling sound through the vents, the same growl my uncle used to make when he wanted to scare us. As kids, we didn't think much of it. We weren't really scared at the time. Fast forward to summer. My sister and I had moved into my uncle's bedroom where he passed. It was my younger sister's birthday. My parents gave her a doll that could sing "Happy Birthday" and walk as a present. Later that night, my sister placed her doll on the floor next to me. It was raining hard that night with lightning and thunder. I heard something and woke up. I peeked over the bed overlooking the edge. I saw the doll moving and singing "Happy Birthday." I tried waking up my sister, but she was too tired. I turned on the lights and grabbed the doll. I turned the doll around and opened the back. I was shocked. The switch was off. I took out the batteries and placed the doll on top of the drawer. I went back to bed. Moments later, I heard it again. The doll moving and singing "Happy Birthday." It couldn't be. I took out the batteries, I thought to myself. I opened one eye to peek and saw the doll. I cried and woke up my sister. She ran to turn the lights on. I grabbed her hand, and we ran down the stairs to our parents' room. Keep in mind, it was still night. My parents made us sleep with them since they didn't want to deal with us crying. The next morning, I explained to my mom what happened. She had a shaman looked into it. The shaman said it was our uncle visiting us. He wanted to wish my sister a happy birthday, so he possessed the doll briefly to send a message. He was the one dropping the starburst candies for us. He still wanted to play with us, so he would growl through the vents. After the shaman left, my parents said out loud, "Felix, don't come do this to the kids or our family. They're young and don't know any better. They're scared of you. You already passed, so you should make your way to the afterlife to be reborn. The kids loved you so much when you were here with us. Now that you're no longer with us, please move on. If you want to watch over the kids, that's okay. Watch over them, but don't scare them." After that, the house was back to normal, with the occasional treats placed around the house. Familial love transcends even death. Uncle Felix probably really loved his nieces. It was so sad that he passed away so young. Let's read the next story. Growing up on the East Coast where I'm from, there aren't that many Chinese people like me, but we had enough families to have a New Year party each year. In the town I lived in, there were only 3 Chinese families, and all the kids went to the same school. I had known her all my life, but it wasn't until 8th grade that I really noticed her. Maybe it was because of puberty, lol, but her name was Sheng. There were a few other Chinese girls at school, but she stood out to me the most. We grew closer that year, and the summer before my freshman year was the best. Everyone knows what's up, lol. But back to the story. At the beginning of freshman year, Sheng and I started dating, and we stayed together for the whole year. Sophomore year, we broke up 3 or 4 times, but we always got back together. By junior and senior year, we were inseparable. We were high school sweethearts, and we planned to go to the same college together. By our senior year, we were voted most likely to get married. Everyone knew Sheng and I loved each other deeply. It wasn't just puppy love. The day before our graduation party, I told my parents that I wanted to marry Sheng. When I asked Sheng's parents for their blessing, they weren't surprised. They gave their approval, saying it was fine as long as I took care of their daughter. At the graduation party, I got down on one knee in front of everyone and asked Sheng to spend the rest of her life with me. She said yes. That night, Sheng came home with me and my family, and we performed the traditional Chinese wedding ceremony with the chicken. That summer, we had a full traditional Chinese wedding. If you know anything about Chinese weddings, you know the groom gets pretty wasted, thanks to the bride's family, and I definitely did. After the summer, we moved into a small apartment near campus. Everything felt perfect. We were newlyweds, starting college together, away from our parents. After the first semester, though, Sheng found out she was pregnant. We moved back in with my parents so she could stay home while I continued going to school. Each day, I went to class and came back home to Sheng. Month by month, her belly grew, and soon, we welcomed our baby girl, Wendy. A few months after Wendy was born, Sheng and I were invited to a wedding. My parents offered to watch Wendy for the night so we could enjoy ourselves. We drove home late that night, around 11 p.m. After the wedding, I was fine to drive, I wasn't drunk, and I wasn't tired. But about 30 to 45 minutes into the drive, we were in a terrible accident. A witness at the intersection said that a speeding vehicle, with its lights off, ran a red light and crashed into us. The police report said the impact caused my car to flip over several times. I was barely conscious and don't remember much, but I do recall seeing them put Sheng into a body bag while they loaded me onto a stretcher. I wanted to get to her, but the pain and confusion overwhelmed me, and I passed out. I woke up late the next day in the hospital. My family was there, and so was my daughter. When I saw her, flashes of that night came back to me, and I remembered seeing Sheng in that body bag. I asked my parents what happened, and they told me she didn't survive. I tried to hold it in, but I broke down. My best friend, my high school sweetheart, the love of my life, my wife, was gone. We waited 2 weeks for Sheng's burial. A week after that, strange things started happening. My family kept hearing knocks at the door, but when we opened it, no one was there. My parents said it was Sheng, but I wasn't afraid. How could I be scared of someone I loved so much? A few nights after that, something sat on me while I was sleeping. I was on my back, arms near my head. At first, I was scared, but then I smelled Sheng's perfume, the one from Abercrombie that she always wore and I loved. I felt pressure on my left arm and chest, and my knee touched something cold. Her leg. Shung was there. I was flooded with emotion, scared but happy at the same time. She began to cry and said to me, "I miss you so much, Xian. I can't bear to be without you. Come with me." I cried and told her how much I missed her, too, but I reminded her about our daughter, Wendy. I told her that our little girl needed at least one parent. Shung agreed, saying I was right, and told me she had to go. I told her it was okay, and I drifted back to sleep. The next morning, I thought it had all been a dream, until I saw my arm and bedsheet stained with dried mascara. I knew then it wasn't a dream. I didn't tell my parents because I didn't want them to call a shaman for a cleansing. A few nights later, it happened again. I smelled her perfume, felt her cold back against my chest, and heard her crying. Once again, she begged me to come with her. Tears streamed down my face as I told her I missed her but couldn't leave Wendy. I promised Shung that I would join her one day, once our daughter no longer needed me. We would go together in the next life and be reincarnated, staying together forever. She asked if I was lying. I kissed her on the back of her head and said, "I love you, Shung. Why would I lie to you?" She seemed satisfied and left for the night. Now, my daughter Wendy is almost 2. It's been about 2 years since the accident. I visit Shung's grave regularly, on her birthday and our anniversary. Every once in a while, when Shung misses me, she visits at night. I still miss her deeply. I don't think of Shung as a ghost but as our daughters and my guardian angel. I know Wendy needs me now, and Shung understands that. But 60 or 70 years down the road when my time comes, I won't be afraid to die, because I believe Shung and I will be together again in the next life. So sad and romantic. I am glad that Xian, the sender of the story, did not abandon his daughter to be with his dead wife. However, isn't it a bit selfish since Xian was still very young? He could still remarry if he wanted and have a stepmother for Wendy. What do you think about this? I hope you enjoyed our spooky and strange stories. Join us next time for more. Take care and boo-bye.